To this day, it is estimated by the U.S. government, not me, by the U.S. government, 93 million people, 93 million benefit today from what the homesteaders did in 1862. So how can people say there was not any benefit from slavery and racism when we have 93 million people who are benefiting from the land, the loans and liens on the land, the the farms and the ranches and the buildings and the cities and all that that was done. Number
Okay.
three, when we talk about reparations again, they are to repair things that were done. And I hate when people, like for instance, this Monica Kessler gets in here and says, well, Asians do well and Indians do well. And I tell them they haven't dealt with America and this racism for 400 years. Asians came in the mid 1800s to build the railroad, and then Indians came way, way far later. In fact, they really started migrating heavily in the at the end of the 20th century.
Right.
So we've had a lot more exposure to the vile thing that is racism in this country. So when people start using these other groups as wedges and buffers to the black community, it's very, very disingenuous to say, look at what these people can do. And I say, well, if you look at 300 years of British rule in India, we saw how India was left. In fact, two nations were made that hate each other. When we look at the Philippines, 300 years of Spanish rule and American colonialism, and we see how devastated the Philippines were. The extended exposure to white supremacy and racism does a horrendous job on the mental and physical and spiritual well-being of the people that are in proximity to them. And my last point was, people want to complain about reparations, but they paid the slave owners for their lost property. Not only did they fight a war and kill 1 million people, they then paid them for the loss of their, but they did not give the enslaved a dime. And to you, Jason, it should come from the government, because that cotton, that tobacco, that rice, those textile mills, all those things cotton was king. Think about that. The United States produced over 65% of the world, not the nation's, the world's cotton. Millions upon billions of dollars were made off of free labor. And when it was all said and done, black people got nothing for the 250 years that they were enslaved. But I think the problem is, and I'll end on this, white people think, and this is just my opinion, they think, well, you know what? We let you stay. We freed you. Eventually, you had to fight for it, but we let you move into our neighborhoods. We let you go to our schools. We let you come into our restaurants, work our jobs, join our unions. Hell, we even now, don't make it legal for you to date our women. That's your reparations. And throw in Obama. Y'all got your reparations. Nothing has been repaired, my friends. Nothing.
No, because because racism is still today alive and well. We're seeing it right in the White House. I see it every day.
Okay, I got a question. Do you think any race can be racist?
Yes.
Any race?
Any race.
Okay, well, here's what I would say. If you look at the classic definition of racism, black people cannot be racist, if that's where you're headed. We can be biased, we can be prejudiced,
Okay.
but if you look at racism and the dynamics of power and control and all of that, then that doesn't fit the definition of black people whatsoever, because we don't have the power. Let me tell you something, Jason.
Yeah,
I
go
can
ahead.
say all day long, I don't like white people, I don't like white people, I don't like white people. Every black person can say that. And I will just be as black people saying that. But if someone like Donald Trump says that, if somebody like the people that control the White House say that, you can then affect laws as redlining has done, as segregation was, to hurt and hinder. No black person has ever created a law or a rule that has hurt, hindered, or deprived white people of anything.
Okay.
So we don't have the power
I got a question.
to affect your life.
Okay, I got a
But as
question.
you can see now, I'll give you an example. The Fearless Fund. That was a fund set up to help black women. That was a fund to help black people pull themselves up by their bootstraps, which we're told to do. And what did the white man do? He took it to court because it wasn't fair to white people. That
Okay,
fund
I
was
got-
helping black women.
Okay, I got a question, God. I don't know. I'm just gonna call you God.
Just call me DPH. Just call me
Can
DPH.
I interrupt for one second? And because I've been waffling this for a minute, but you got somebody in your comments who I feel like either needs to come up and like run her mouth on the panel, or she needs to be like muted because she is demonstrably racist.
Oh yeah, Monica's going in.
Monica.
Well, bring Monica in.
Y'all know Monica's not gonna come on here and say anything, child.
Okay.
Well, she may be mad at me because I alluded to her mother, and her mother's brother procreating. So
All right, God. I got a question. I got a question though. Okay. So you said that the African American community has never done anything to done anything basically to make any like racial slurs or anything like that towards the white community. Is that correct?
that's not what I said, son.
We don't have the power to systemically oppress or marginalize white people. That's what he said.
Okay.
DEI is yapping.
Okay, but I'm just saying. But did the black community, or African American community, where I could be wrong. But where did the word cracker come from?
Oh, that's
person who
simple.
cracked the
I
whip.
can give you a history lesson on that. Cracker is the name of the person, usually an overseer, who was usually white, but some were black if they were trusted enough. That's the sound that the whip made when they whipped the flesh from our bones. You see, because when you flick a whip and you pop it, there's a cracker on the end of it, which is two pieces of rawhide that make the popping sound when they crack. So the person that was whipping people, I mean, Jason, my God, son, I'm just wild that you would use that example. That was the name of the person who would whip the slaves.
Hey, Jason, what's up, man?
Which made a cracking sound, hence the word cracker.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, but why do African American people say it towards white people whenever they're mad?
Well, the same way. So why do white people call us niggers and coons?
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey,
Thank you. You gonna get
I
banned.
just want to know. I mean, I'm asking you.
well,
I hear you.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna get in here and piss everybody off in a few minutes.